there is incompetency of an officer in that office, you as a citizen, still have the right. You as a citizen still have the right to bypass or to pass that office and go to the next level. Because information can reach any level so long as you want something to be done. So if you find what admin is incapacitated in one way or the other, I don't want to use the word incompetence, because that is another level of evaluation of the employer. Is incapacitated in one way or the other, then you have authorized to go higher. And that is why I've given you the line from ward admin, sub-county admin, deputy director, director, chief officer, and then minister. But how I wish you can even have direct line to the governor. In Seme, people fear working in Seme, especially employees of county government, because most of us call direct to the governor. So some employees fear, in Seme, if you are not alert, you may find some information has reached the governor without you knowing. So that tells you how information can reach at any level. Secondly, some group talked about hurdles or challenges or bottlenecks in the procurement procedure to make them access some tender, more especially in Agupo. It happens that I was once having opportunity to do evaluation of tender as director. And I don't know how I wish that person was very specific in which particular area, because there is a lot of waiver on things to be checked when it comes to Agupo. If the tender is specified that it is Agupo, a lot of waiver. We have almost four steps. There is mandatory step to be checked, the preliminary step. That is the only thing we check for Agupo. That contains registration certificate, permit, then who are the directors? Do they have relevant knowledge towards what they want to do? Then lastly, you can have financial part of it. And with Agupo, the financial part of it is not as big as any other tender. So we have a lot of favor when it comes to this tender, which are applied by the women, the youth, and people with disability. Therefore, how I wish that person who was complaining talked about specific area where he wants the government to redraft the policy so that they get access to this tender. The far it has gone, or the far it is presently, the preliminary, which means the bare minimum level, what you must have. You can't talk of you want to get a tender and the group is not registered. You can't talk of you want to get a tender and you don't pay tax. You can't talk of you want to get a tender and even the directors are not known, or just those who are holding that group. Those are the bare minimum conditions we look at when we talk of Agupo and a few areas. Then we have what we call post-evaluation visit, which we call due diligence. Yes, the group applied, it passed. Is it existing? Is the document telling with what is there on the ground? And this is where most of our groups fail. Because you do good write-up, you attach so many documents, but when we go on the ground to do due diligence, we have conflicting information. So how I wish you become straight so that you pass the preliminary evaluation and as many groups as possible from SEME get tender. Thank you. That is just off the cuff because I got the opportunity to evaluate so many groups. That guy refused. It took almost 3 months. The tinga, the facility, the mobility, and every machine was there at one of the homes there. Those who are coming from Central Seme, they know. And those things were just lying there. The guy refused. So that makes the delay. Apart from that, after this guy agreed, they started as was procured, as was in the big queue. Then natural calamity came, which is flood, washed away everything. They had to BQ, re-advise, and re-look for more money. What is there is costing over 80 million, yet the first money was 10 million. So obviously, in monitoring and evaluation and also what we call project management, you have to restructure and look for more resources. By the time you are doing that, you delay. So the delay the Central Seme was talking about was justified. And again, the cry is also justified because that is the shortest route from Bodi to Kombera. Again, remember, it is the road that passes through a city because it is called Kombera Bodi Municipality. So that is the road which is soon, what I know, very soon you will see that road being tarmacked because there is talks between the CDF office and the wildlife. The engineer wildlife had even gone there. So that is what, that is still under the table, but I'm telling you because I'm close about what is happening on that road. That is in Central Seme. I'm a resident of Central Seme, but I need to talk about more about East Seme, yeah? So in East Seme, there are so many questions you asked. East Seme, we are blessed this time in this financial year, 2025-2026, that we have so many roads. You have seen it in the budget. And even Kera has advertised some roads, that is Lolwe Nanga Road, Awanya Kalauka Road, that is it, Seme. And even another one from Polo to Malela. There is also, I heard people talking about Mukabeje to Barbarua. So, but the question was about Kitumikai, Nyaguda, Kalauka Road. That road has been talked about at different levels. There was a time we had an organization at Kopewa, and we discussed that road at length. And that organization has even gone to the place to do what we call verification of the scope of work that will make the PQ. How we wish that they take charge and help. You know, the government work as a government and also in partnership with relevant organizations. So you may find the government does some, but at others they partner. So if those people come up, we pray. This time it is not there in the budget. Between Kitimikai up to Nyaguda is proposed in 2026-2027 budget. We are waiting for it, and we pray if this NGO does not take up that role, then it is going to be there in 2026-2027. But the budget we have now, 2025-2026, it is not there. When we were talking about the bills, that is the process of budget, that road of Nyaguda featured very conspicuously. Somebody also talked about issues of the county government should be supplying subsidized fertilizer and seeds. I may not dwell on that so much because rather from the Department of Agriculture, Fishery and all that is there. But if you look at the budget this year, the person who was saying, whoever talked said that the government of Kisumu has never done that. That was the word. And that is why I was concerned. Because I always look through the government, the budget, and I see subsidized of seeds. And even maybe seedlings. And even the budget this year, it is there. Fertilizer and seeds and seedlings. And when you see the area to be covered, it is written county-wide. It means all the wards in the county. So let us go deep into relevant documents we have. We get accurate information in time, then we speak accurately. Somebody talked about vocational training centers having PWDs compliant. I like Brother Ken. What Ken says is what is there in the Education Act, that nowadays we involve in inclusive education. So what we advocate for presently is all the vocational training centers must be PWDs compliant in terms of infrastructure and equipment, from infrastructure, personnel, and equipment, as it was put by Ken. Otherwise, in ECD, that was a condition we had put when I was there. First of all, infrastructure had to have a ramp. Then there was a condition that for one to be employed as ECD teacher, that is 2 of them, one of them must be a person who has information and knowledge about people with disability to handle those children. So the government is doing a lot in terms of that, in terms of all the areas involved. The ECD and Vocational Training Center is under education. I want to talk about the lack of staff in CBC. That is national government, how I wish our counterpart is here, but that is my field. But I won't talk about it present because of time. I think I've talked much of all the things you talked about, unless I've forgotten some. Now, I may go through a few issues. This is now, I was a teacher. It is going to be participatory. What do you think are the default function of the county government? Just tell me, this one, as random as I conclude now. Being a teacher is funny. What are the functions of the county government? Yes. One, I don't want from you. Devolved functions. Devolved function, county government? Hakuna. Yes, thank you. Yes? Yeah. Agriculture is one, very good. Health is another one. Health services, another one. Agriculture has been said. Yes. Education, but specifically early childhood education. According to Constitution, in early childhood, it is only the infrastructure. It was only the court order that allows the county government to employ ECD teacher. Otherwise, in the Constitution, it is infrastructure or early childhood education. Let's continue.
Tourism.
Yeah, tourism. Tourism to some extent, part of it.
Water.
Yeah, water, environment, and all those. Any other? Trade, I like that. Trade. Yes. Transport. And under transport, it is only roads which are in class B and E, and any other unmarked roads. Manungi sona kochemani korwe. So kwado we ndaramaka maka koreni yonda, especially class D connects around 3 villages also, or across the ward. That can be done by county government. But when it is now past one ward, Kera, national government. So when we ask questions on certain areas, especially roads, we look at what length of that road, from where it starts to where it ends. Then we go to county government or CDF. The last one? Is there last? Zimeisha, Silio. I think I've done my evaluation. Thank you. Ifanye? Inafanya?
Good afternoon. Afternoon to you. I think almost everything has been exhausted by my colleague from service department. I occasionally call them our M&E because basically they do monitoring, coordination, and evaluation of whatever we do at the county government level. Let me repeat my name. I'm Wilson Onjolo. I work for the county government of Kisumu. I work as the sub-county fisheries officer for Seme sub-county. Let me just put this request before I begin. I think we have not seen members from West Seme Ward. Basically, I think next time there's a humble request that if we can do it twice, so that Central and East, we conduct ours here, and then West, because of the distance, we can do at Manyuanda Social Hall. I'm saying that because we did another sensitization whereby we moved almost in all of these wards, and when we did ours at Manyuanda Social Hall, we had actually West Seme Ward, we had the highest attendance. I think probably if they were sensitized or if they were reached, probably distance has been a bottleneck, and probably that is why they have not come. I'm just going to talk shortly on two issues. One is the elephant in the room, the unemployment, which has been echoed by a member from North Ward. And these are a problem. Actually, we do realize that today, almost in every home, including mine, you will find that there are some youths who are not employed. There are some graduates who are not employed. So basically what I am saying, the jobs are there. Jobs are there. And when I say jobs are there, it means that we need to create our own jobs. Tunasikizana hapo. Let us create our own jobs. And again, having said that, let me say this. youths, we need, just as my colleague had said, we need to get the right information. For instance, let me just put this one. We have been looking for youth groups. I work in the Department of Agriculture, and basically, agriculture alone can employ everybody and everyone. Sometimes we look for youth groups to involve in any activity, but they are not easy to come by. Sometimes back, 3 months old in this sub-county. I was working in Murodi sub-county. And again, let me say this, because whenever we have our meetings at the sub-county levels, we meet and we will exchange ideas and interact with all sub-county heads, including Seme, by the time I was in Moroni. But sometimes the ABDB program, Aquaculture Business Development Program, which basically deals with fish farming. And we were looking for registered youth groups so that we would give them grants. And we went around. Those who come from North Seme, I understand there is a group known as Jopitrech Group. And we walked and we said, can we just develop a business concept and you will be given a grant? You register a group and then you put seed money of 25,000. Then you'll be given a grant of 250,000 so that you begin doing something. Allow me to say that in the entire Kisumu County, I don't know, say we did not get any group. It's sad to say that. Say we did not get any group. In the sub-county where I was working, we only got 2 groups. And I was sharing with my colleague that the 2 wards, that is Chemeli Tamu Ward and Moroni Koro Ward, if you look critically into the groups which succeeded, mainly they are what we call, how do we call them in Dolu? Joda. Mainly they are what we call Joda. Because we find that these are the wards where cosmopolitan wards. The only sub-county which did well was Nyakach, which gave us the 4 groups. Again, there's another project we are now doing where I also work as an M&E. It's called Tunza Green Climate Project Fund. When people were deliberating here, I heard people talk about environmental issues, soil erosion. I heard them talking of roads being washed away. In this project, we are helping groups who are doing African leafy vegetables. Why African leafy vegetables? Because they are quick. They do very fast, you get back your money. In this project, we are supporting groups which are doing fruit trees. And we are also supporting groups which are doing dairy. In this group, we are working together with groups, youths who have come together to help in environmental conservation by restoring the landscapes which have been destroyed. We did our sensitization. I think, were you there? Were you there? We did our sensitization here. We did our sensitization at Manyuanda Social Hall. We did our sensitization at Huduma Center at Ombewa. And I also sent the same group to do the sensitization in North Seme. Unfortunately, I did not attend, but they are sure because I knew they sent me information that they did. And then we invited groups to apply so that this is a FAO-funded project so that they can be supported. As we speak now, we have only received 2 applications and we are closing on 16th of this month. What am I saying? We need to be aggressive as youths. We need to get the right information, and we need to do something. The only problem with our youth is we want quick fix it. I graduated in the year 2000 myself. The year 2000. When I graduated, I come from Suba myself. I came to Kisumu, and I could not, because I graduated as a fisheries graduate. I could not get jobs in the fish processing plants here. I talked to somebody in Moroni. He gave me a piece of land. We shared. And I started fish ponds. I dug myself 2 fish ponds. And from there, the rest is history. I have my land in Moroni. My family lives in Moroni. But when I worked on the 2 fish ponds, an organization picked me from there. I went to Uganda to work for this NGO for 12 years. And as I was working, I diversified myself, did other courses. And then I came back. Now I'm working for the county government. What am I saying? Let us be aggressive, get information, and do what we can do at that particular time. I was talking to my son. I have a dog. My son is almost some of you, age mates for some of you, is 23 years old. Actually, he's graduating this year from University of Nairobi in laws. I have another daughter who is also a teacher, also aspiring to be a teacher. I was telling him, so if once we can do something, when I told him that there's a piece of land there, can you start doing something? Can you, APDBs here, can you just make a pond and we see how you can be supported and get your colleagues? And at first he said, hey daddy, that is too much. Fortunately or unfortunately, he left my pond. The pond is growing, but he started doing something in rice. He formed a group the way I told him. And they are doing something in rice. They are, because in Moroni, Obey, people cultivate rice. As we speak, we were estimating what he may get this year, close to 400,000. And this is a boy who is going to graduate. Close to 400,000. I helped him. When I saw seriousness in him, I gave him some money so that we could hire more rice paddies and do a lot of rice production. So there's something we can do. And let us, when this information comes, let us use them, let us participate. Another thing, lastly, let me talk about subsidy. Somebody mentioned here that he has never heard of subsidy. As we speak, in Kisumu, let me say this honestly, and I start to be corrected. In agriculture, we have so many programs. You've heard of now CDP. As we speak, now CDP was giving free seeds, isn't it? Yeah, because even as we speak, I know that cotton seeds have not been paid from the stores. You are doing me, sir, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, cotton seeds have not been paid. We have so many programs which we do, and again, the county government of Kisumu has partnered with Equity Bank on what we call e-voucher system. In this e-voucher, the program is to give farmers subsidy on farm inputs. How is it done? An account will be opened for you, and I think very soon, we are here to check because it was supposed to begin by now. You go to the area assistant chief, you register the size of your land and the required farm inputs. And then a voucher will be developed for you, which will be deposited in Equity Bank. Then we were working with Equity so that we identify the suppliers who have the fertilizers, who have the seeds, and even because I come from fish, and I really pushed this one when we had a meeting, the sub-county heads. I pushed this one for those who come from the lake. I said, fisheries and blue economy, we do cage culture. And as I said, when we put, because I always tell fishermen that I'm not happy when I tell you to stop doing illegal fishing and I'm not giving you an alternative. And I pushed and I said that those who will be doing cage culture, they should be roped into this program so that when you have calculated the cost of your production, you pay 50%, you deposit 50% on your voucher, and then the 50% will be taken care of by Equity Bank, which will be reimbursed by the county government. That is a subsidy program. So, what am I saying as youth? And this is what is a little bit of a challenge to us. Getting the right information. Let us get right information. I really appreciate working in SEM. Just as my colleague was saying, in county government, we call SEM, well, our president comes from, we call it Sugod. We call SEM Sugod. Because these people, I really appreciate, and as a Sudanese, I really appreciate because people here are much learned. But the only problem they have, they complain a lot without going into the bottom of issues. As I speak today, they have written 2 letters about me to the governor. But I always thank God because I'm always strong. As long as I know that I'm doing the right thing, I'm always not intimidated. They write, we sit down, we look at them, we say that these people, they don't go into the bottom of issues. So let us get the right information before we come up. There are so many county government programs, especially in agriculture where I work. So many county, actually they're youth-based. Basically, because like us today, I'm saying this and I stand to be corrected. For us to support any group, the first thing we look is the inclusivity. Is everybody there? Are PW represented? Are marginalized groups like women and youth represented? And are youth represented? Even just the other day, I think the day on Thursday, I was walking along the beaches because we look at, and that one they will tell you, people come from the beaches will tell you they have not had that. Because as we speak, we have realized that there are so many accidents in the lake, isn't it? So we approached Kenya Maritime Authority and we say that we need to build surveillance, response and rescue centers along the beaches. And we went through and we told them that for us to consider doing that, we have to look at your report, and in your report, we must see the attendance, were youths included, were PWs included, were marginalized groups included. So as I conclude, I've talked a lot, support what my colleague was saying, let us get the right information, and there are so many opportunities for the youth. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Before you say, I think there's a question. And then
Thank you. You have said that subsidies are available. Please, most of us here are interested. Tell us how can we find them?
Thank you. I have said it's supposed to be, by now, the process is supposed to be on. The program was, you go to the assistant chief of your area. You give the details of your farm, the land size, and the fertilizer or the inputs that you require. Then an e-voucher will be developed for you. Okay? I'm giving out my number because I always, as I work with the lay people, I always don't want to give false information. Because we agreed last time, I was trying to check today whether the number that we agreed was working. Because we agreed that we wanted to do registration on your form. And we agreed that we were to use a certain number. Actually, it was /*16/10* blah blah, and you are to get to begin registration. I think because that was Equity now working with Safaricom to put us on that platform, and I think it's still taking time. But we agreed that the other approach was you go to the area assistant chief, you register your land, you register the inputs that you need, then an e-voucher is developed for you. Once I come from this meeting, this discussion here, I'm going to find out whether it has started working. Sawa. Can I give my number? Yes. And my office is just here, where you are here. Just the next office is mine. 0712 74 794 Wilson Onjoro, Sub-County Fisheries.
Yes. I have another question. Okay, for those, okay, as we are here, among us, nani amesikia hiyo story ya e-voucher leo hapa? Like for the first time. Nani ashawaisikia like huko nyuma? You don't have that information. But sasa tunaambiwa kuna hiyo system ya e-voucher yenye they are working on it.
Yes.
So my question is, there's a gap on how you guys communicate. You have the information. Okay, we can't get that first-hand information of whatever is happening, whether the thing is being implemented ama ni kitu ishawekwa in place, it's working, we don't know. So sahi tunaambiwa there's that thing e-voucher that you go through all those steps now, right now, but you are informed that that thing is working. Hata kama mnaiweza weka kwa website, like we can access it. Ama how can we get that information kama sio hapa sahi?
Oh yes, we have I think it is let me accept that probably is a short-sighted on our side, but today as we began this discussion, when I looked at our website, the agriculture, it was talking about that. I checked. I always try to acquaint myself with information, especially in agriculture. I checked, if you check our website, it was there. Except what I agree that our World Agriculture Officer was supposed to escort this information down, which I'm pretty sure they are going to do. And that is why I've said, from here I'm going to find out whether the registration of farmers has begun at the chief level, assistant chief at the sub-location level.
Which website are you saying?
The county government.
County government.
It's like agriculture.
Okay, as he continues looking for the website. So, as Department of Fisheries,
Yes.
the other day you remember there was a disaster somewhere, samaki zilikufa, and there's a time tulikuwa on a Chambua Huduma Forum where we asked about how to manage that kind of disaster. And they told us, kama it's a natural disaster, there's nothing they can do. But again, last week I was in Kisumu, and near Nyamasaria flyover, kuna hiyo tunnel yenye inapitisha maji kutoka CJ ikipeleka Lake Victoria. There was a building that was removing sewage from the septic tank to that place, then inateremka. The activity was being done at night. So that sewage ijakuwa treated, it's directed to the lake fresh. So how can you handle that issue? Because if at all, it won't affect people from this side of Seme, but it affects the lakes. Sindio? Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I expected such question. First of all, allow me to say this. I like putting the blame where it belongs. Let me say this. The death of fish in Lake Victoria, especially what happened in Donga. I'm not standing in for those industrialists, but let me say this, it is not as a result of pollution. I want you to understand this. What happens, Lake Victoria has 2 seasons of upwelling, what we call upwelling of currents. If you ask people at the beach chairman, on 7th of last month, we had a meeting here. And I gave them a warning. I told them that the upwelling of Lake Victoria is normally in the month of May and season of May and season of November. And seasons is different from months. When we talk of a season of May, it may begin in April. When we talk of a season of November, it begins in October. So, what did I tell them? I told them that as far as I am concerned, and this one again I want to say here categorically, that in Seme we have 3 beaches which have been declared fit for fish cage culture. That is Karoka, part of Otan, and Nyamaruaka. You can do cage culture there. It has been certified by Kenya Marine Fisheries Research Institute, and the map is there. What happened at Donga? We told them that you are doing this, but it is not allowed. Donga is not meant for cage culture. First, it is shallow. Another thing, the upwelling current passes through that region. And we told them, what did the investors say? They gang up with the politicians. And they say, we are doing it, now man your pain, okay, now time more. The same thing Kosimbo. Now I have a problem with Kosimbo. The tea organization is saying, they are putting up cages. I called them here, me am an expert. Mimi nasemaga kama mambo ya samaki ninaelewa juu ni kitu nimesoma na nimeifanya miaka zangu zote kwa hapa nchini Kenya na nje. So I told them, you cannot do this. Yesterday, somebody from Kalwe called me and told me that kumbe ulituambia ukweli. I remember you warned us before Donga fish mortalities. Now, can you help us? I told them that you can only enter in agreement with the Kaloka or Nyamaruaka to do what? To anchor the cages. So, the fish mortality in Donga is not as I'm not standing in for the industrialists. That is the work of public health, isn't it? If they find out, let them put things in order. But for the fish case in Donga was as a result of upwelling of lake currents. And I tell them, if whoever is coming from the lake, once you see shells landing at the shores, the upwelling has started. Because what happens, it first kills what we call benthic community. Zile zenye zinapatikana chini. The shells die, then they are washed. Then that water goes up. Then they will tell you, tumeona maji inafanana na strong tea. That water has no oxygen, it's all oxygen in it. So what will happen? Fish will suffocate and die. So I think about that you. I'm saying in Seme we have Kaloka. If you go to Kaloka, the county government, we have put our cages there. And we have formed groups which we are supporting. If you go to Otan, part of Otan, we have certified. It can do cage culture. Another one is Nyamarwaka. If you go to Nyamarwaka, we have put, the county government has put 6 cages there. And we are forming groups which we are supporting.
Thank you. Wacha niongee nikisimama sasa. Mimi ndio yule mwenye alileta concern or issue ya subsidized products. Na wakati ulikuwa unaongea nimesikia ukisema youth, we are not getting the correct information or we are not getting to the bottom of the matter. Ukisema ya kwamba kuna e-voucher yenye county government of Kisumu na Equity walifanya partnership, and yet you are not even aware kama inafanyika ama kama haifanyiki. Now my question is, who is to inform who? Nani anafaa kuambia nani? Number 2, I participated in making the current CIDP, which started running as from 2022 to 2027 in my ward. Na hii mambo ya subsidy things imekuwa ikiwekwa kila mara, wananchi wakihudhuria kwa mkutano wa public participation. And unapata ikifika pale kwa Department of Agriculture, in my opinion, naweza sema eti hawajaiona kama kitu cha maana sana kwa wananchi, kwa sababu each and every time it has been disappearing. Wangu haikui kwa paper. ADP ikitoka unapata kama it is not among the prioritization projects yenye zimewekwa huko. This is my fourth year nikifanya karibu na ofisi wa admin in my area, like North Seme Ward, of which we've been exchanging a lot. Tangu nianze kukua karibu na hiyo ofisi, hakuna siku hata moja Jodalawa yenye nimewahi ona subsidy, tuseme hiyo mbegu ya mahindi ama fertilizer ikiletwa hapo North Seme Ward. It has never been there, Jacom. Bwana admin, it has never been there. And this issue has been affecting the common mwananchi, yule ambaye anaweza kuwa na lengo wa kupanda ama kufanya a serious farming. Like we see in this our area, like most part of North Seme Ward, what they are doing in terms of agricultural activities ni kulima ama kupanda mahindi. Ukisema eti kuna mbegu ya cotton yenye kuku ofisi inauza tu hapo, and yet I'm not interested in doing that kind of activity, itanisaidia aje? Wakati mlileta ya fertilizer, wenye walikuwa na interest ya kufanya hiyo kilimo walienda wakachukua yote, haikuwa pale. But hii ya cotton inafaa tu wenye tunaonanga wakifanya hiyo kilimo cha ama ukulima ya cotton ni wale wenye wanatoka wapi? West Seme, lakini na some part of East Seme. Sasa tunafanya kile ambacho tunajua itatupatia profit, naona kenye itatupatia, kenye itatusaidia nikiweka mainani yangu hapa, baadaye at the end of the day kuna kitu yenye nitaingiza kwa mfuko. So kindly hii maneno bado nasisitiza mpeleke kwa CECM member wa agriculture, Mr. Ken Onyango, tafadhali. Saa hii ndio mnaenda kuconfirm kama hii voucher inafanyika, and yet si watu washamaliza kulima hadi wakapanda mbegu. Saa ikianza kukuja kitu kama November itatusaidia aje? wananchi wanataka serious subsidy products from the Department of Agriculture. Thank you.
Asante, thank you so much for your concern. It's a good one, and we are going to put more effort on that. Of course, we are not perfect, but we are working towards perfection. And let me say this, and all our failure that the WAOs, the World Agricultural Officer, was supposed to cascade this one down, which did not happen. But let me say this, I want you now to give you the insight of our county government operation, especially Department of Agriculture, where I belong. We always budget. My colleague here will agree with me that once we budget, in agriculture we work with partners. Actually, to be honest, agriculture is one of the departments which is supported so many partners. And if we budget for a subsidy, let's say what you are saying, fertilizer or seeds, and we have put a budget for it, then the partner comes, IFAD, International Fund for Agriculture Development, which we have worked very closely. They come and they say, Kisumu County government, we are going to support you in doing this. And then we go back to our budget. I think you will agree with me, my colleague, and we say that we are budgeted for a subsidy of this, but if IFAD has accepted to support us, it's normal, even in your house, that's what you do. And you say, then let us take this money and place it some here. So, it happened, and we saw it. That is why we are saying this year, actually, we started planning for this financial year when we were called as the sub-county heads. And we said that our money is being removed and being replaced by partners is not working. Because, and you know, I want you again to understand this. Do you know what the partners do? I'm putting on a shirt. My colleague is putting on a t-shirt. But two are serving the same purpose. So he comes and he tells you that you wanted orange juice, but we have mango juice, but both are juices with vitamin C, isn't it? So we say, this time we say no, whether partners are giving us, we are going to budget for the subsidy. And I'm optimistic from where I am standing, I'm optimistic that in spite of those feeding problem and bottlenecks, it is going to work for us.
Okay, thank you. I think we have to close this discussion. We can't solve everything in one occasion. Even though I wanted to ask why the 25,000 seed. See, for me, these are obstacles to young people. So I don't know the rationale behind that 25,000 for you to be given 250,000. You get?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things you are raising.
Can I answer that?
Yes, please.
Actually, this conditionality was put by our partners, and you know, when we asked, because we are your representatives and we must ask as well. When we asked, they said they want to know the groups which are serious. That is the answer they gave us. They said that, look here, when you say this, they just open an account, every Tom, Dick, and Harry will do it. But we want to know people who are serious. And let me add on top of that, when we had sensitization last time on this new FAO program, the people who came, my brother here will agree with me, they were not given water, they were not facilitated, isn't it? And we asked, we told them, like somebody like myself, I've worked with IFAD for a long period of time, and I know how they facilitate their events. And we asked FAO. I said that I am an M&D for the county, Kisumu County, not even Seme, but Kisumu County. And I asked, what, these people are coming for a meeting, Are we not? We must facilitate their movement. We must give them something. But they said, Wilson, we want to see people who are serious. If we facilitate them, everybody will just come. So basically, they are doing this so that they see people who are serious. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We also don't facilitate people. What we basically did is that, so this conversation can continue with, amepeana namba, sio? Na tunajua ofisi, sio? So there's a form that has been going around, and I will just say that we also don't facilitate. So when you come to our meetings, don't expect any money. So, but I know you signed a form. So basically what we did is this. We say we had an allocation of 1,000 shillings for meals. Okay? So tukasema there's no need of giving you a meal costing 1,000 shillings.